Hey, Michigan fans, welcome back to the Fool Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. As you can see, I'm at work. Last night, Rutgers versus Michigan got done after 11. Honestly, I didn't stay up to watch it last night. Maybe it was because I wanted to know what happened in the game. Maybe it's because I got a long day at school. But I couldn't sleep very well. So I woke up and decided, hey, I DVR'd the game. Let's start. Let's watch. So I watched it this morning at like 3 in the morning. Actually, 2 to 3. Anyways, I was pleasantly surprised. I was happy with the first, 30-ish minutes of the game. If you watch the game, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Michigan kind of started off a little slow, down 9-4. Then they started going offensively, playing good defense pretty much the whole first half. They were up like 37-28 at halftime. Definitely the star of the first half was Franz Wagner, and I think he finished with 9 points in the first half. Nice little floater there, kind of when the last possession of the half got shut down by a block. And, I just got to stop and say, I got to give kudos big time to Rutgers. They played very good defense. As I look it up, they had 7 blocks. I even think that's shortchanging them. I think a lot of times they were blocking shots and the people thought maybe there were passes or whatever, the official score. Anyways, they were always around the ball, and they have really present defense. And 7 blocks, they were really impacting the game quite a bit overall. But Michigan, like I said, had a 37-28 lead at halftime, and things were going pretty well. Michigan, as usual, came out and the offense was clicking pretty good in the second half, building the lead. With about 10-ish minutes to go, it got up to about 17 points. And then things just turned to mud. Man, the refs called 24 fouls in the second half. Only a couple of those were the intentional variety in the last minute, that Rutgers would do. 24 fouls compared to 7 in the first half. So it's like, I bring this up from time to time. It's like, why do the refs call the second half so much different than the first half? And it's pretty standard. I guess I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but how could there only be 7 fouls in the first half and 24 in the second half? So, again, the refs just kind of took over, and the game just really got choppy. Michigan went for about 6.5 minutes without a field goal. It's about 6 minutes without a point, and the only point they got was in Isaiah Liver's free throw in there. And despite the fact that Rutgers was playing better defense, I'll give them credit. They played better defense. Michigan got kind of sloppy too. I'll get to that in a second. Despite that, Michigan's lead only shrunk from 17 to 12 points, even though they didn't score. They scored 1 point in 6.5 minutes. So, despite that, they still were playing really good defense. A couple cases in point too. Rutgers only hit 1 3-pointer, like in the first couple minutes of the game, and not another one to the last minute of the game. They finished 3 of 12. I think it is 3 of 12. Yeah, 3 of 12. I'm just looking at my computer board for a few quick stat checks. 3 of 12, and the last 2 were just in the last minute by Young, who went 2 of 3 of the game. I tell you what, sports, I would never, ever wager on sports because I think the spread was 9.5 points. And that 3-pointer by Young took the over to the under, just like that. And all the people who were so upset that the over got busted. Oh, that's funny. I don't wager on sports. I never will. Sports are too up and down. You never can predict them. Now, Michigan started off the game extremely, I would say, choppy, sloppy. 3 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. And then they had none for a good 20, 25 minutes of the game. But again, we come to that point, and I think I know why. So, bear with me. I think I know why here. Michigan was up 17 points. I think it was 12 minutes to go in the game. And I think their minds started to think forward. If Michigan fans had been a big crowd, a regular crowd had been there, I think you would have started hearing fans chanting, "Beat Ohio," "Beat Ohio," because the fans would be no doubt thinking the game was over. I think the players thought the game was over, and they started to think about Ohio State this coming Sunday. Beat Ohio. So Michigan kind of put their took their foot off the gas, and they got sloppy, and Rutgers saw their chance, and they really turned up the defensive pressure as well. Fortunately, as I alluded to, Rutgers didn't shoot very well for the game either, only 3 of 12 on three-pointers, and every time they had like a chance to kind of get that three to kind of get back under 10 points, it didn't happen. They didn't get back under 10 points till under 2 minutes to go in the game. And boy, got to talk about Franz Wagner, definitely the star of the game. It was like an 8-point lead. Michigan had a kind of a poor possession. At least it ran some clock. Under 2 minutes, Wagner got the three, did a ball fake. He didn't even seem to want to shoot it, and they covered the player he was going to pass to. Shot it, hit another three. Finished with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Definitely the star of the game today, Franz Wagner. It's really cool there. Michigan, this is what I expected. It was going to be kind of a dogfight because Rutgers plays Michigan relatively tough. The last few games have been tough games, 10-point wins and such like that. No blowouts that I can remember. And again, Michigan started thinking about Ohio State. And you can see Ohio State too. They struggled with Penn State. I didn't watch that game, but just following it on the scoreboard and such, they were down to Penn State in the second half, and they turned it around, and it was a tight game till the last couple minutes. Both teams were kind of struggling a little bit with decent opponents. Rutgers, Penn State, they're in the middle of the pack, kind of middle of the pack of the Big Ten, whatever. And they started thinking about the opponent, and that's what's going to happen when you get teenage kids, early 20-year-old kids, whatever. They're thinking about the big game coming up. So, Michigan got the win. Can't complain. A win is a win. We're moving on. As they improve to good old 15-1, 10-1 in the conference, they got a half-game lead again over in the official standings of the Big Ten, so that's cool. Just wonder what you guys think about the game. Obviously, Franz Wagner, MVP. Defense played very well again. To go along with that, Michigan of their own had 4 blocks. Again, they play a very good swarming defense. Just again, you could see it the second half. The refs started calling Michigan for all these fouls that were not called in the first half. Man, that just got annoying. So I diverged there. Let me know what you guys think. Write the comments in below. I'll try to respond as possible. And if you do subscribe, thanks for that. Appreciate those. Until I see you guys next time, beat Ohio. Beat Ohio. Go Blue!